Hey you guys! I'm back. Are you back? Okay, perfect. We're going to continue now, and now we're going to get specifically to the topic of today's class, which is the second part of direct and indirect speech. We're going to see how to ask questions, how to report questions, and also we're going to see how you can order, how you can express orders in indirect speech. Okay? Then again, we always have to remember the concept that even though you are trying to say what the person told you, the context is entirely different. And this is important when you consider questions. One thing is for me to ask you a question. What time is it? That's a question. When you are reporting, you are affirming. You are saying, she asked what time it was. You are not asking, did she say what time it was? Do you understand what I'm saying? So, what used to be a question, what time is it? It's now an affirmative sentence. She asked what time it was. Is it clear? Because of that, you have to pay attention to one extra thing, which is the interrogative form is going to disappear and it's going to become an affirmative form sentence. Is that clear? So, I have the explanation from your book, and it says in Portuguese what we're going to do now in English, okay? Page 56 in your books, guys. It says, we can report questions to indirect speech in two ways. Then they show, she said, the question is, does the restaurant accept credit cards? Then you have, she asked if the restaurant accepted credit cards. So attention here. In English, you have two types of questions. We have what we call W8 questions, and you have what we call yes or no questions. Tell me if this is clear to you, because if it is not, we can take a moment to refresh your memory. But anyway, W8 questions are questions that begin with an interrogative pronoun. What, when, where, how, who, how many. When you have a W8 question, you have a full answer. You cannot answer with yes or no. If I say, what's your name? You have to give me that piece of information. If I ask you, how old are you? You have to answer with a precise piece of information. Okay? So these are W8 questions. Yes or no questions, on the other hand, are questions that begin with the auxiliary verb. For example, is today Friday? Does she study here? Could you help me? Did you arrive yesterday? All these questions are yes or no questions because you're going to answer them with a basic yes or no. Of course, you might answer differently, but they accept a yes or no as an answer, okay? So the first example, the question, does this restaurant accept credit cards? This is a typical yes or no question. Does this restaurant accept credit card? Yes, it does, or no, it doesn't. So in reported speech, it's going to be, she asked. Because it's a question, the verb you are going to use is ask, right? So she asked if. Because it's a yes or no question, you have to use if. She asked if that restaurant accepted credit cards. So first thing that changed, I am not using say or tell. I am using ask. So the verb for the report changed. Second, I have to use if because it's a yes or no question. She asked if. Then, it was this restaurant. In reported speech, it's going to be that restaurant. And it was present, right? The sentence was in the simple present. Does this restaurant? It's going to become past. But affirmative, not interrogative anymore. So it becomes, she asked if that restaurant accepted, because it's past, credit cards. Is that clear, guys? Let's imagine a yes or no question with the verb to be. Are you a lawyer? Are you a lawyer? I'm asking. In reported speech, you would say, she asked if, because it's a yes or no question, right? She asked if I was a lawyer. So, change present into past, but you also use the affirmative format. Okay? Is that clear, guys? If you have questions, you ask me. The other scenario is when you have a WH question. When you have a WH question, you're not going to use if. No if is needed. So in the example you have in your book, you have the sentence, the old man said, what time is it? In reported speech, you would say, the old man asked what time it was. So two changes. One is the order, right? In the question, I say, is it? In affirmative, I say, it is. So the report is not a question anymore. What time it, and the verb to be comes later. But because I have to change from present to past, it's going to be, the old man asked what time it was. Okay? Guys, let me know if it's clear. Tassi, do they have questions? Alguma dúvida deles? Guys, questions? No? Okay. If you have questions, you let me know. One other thing that the book points out is that you have a word that means the same as if, which is the word whether. Okay? Whether is the same as if. It only makes your sentence sound more formal. So she asked whether the restaurant accepted credit cards. Okay? So, when you are turning a question into reported speech, pay attention that your verb is going to be asked, and pay attention that you have to lose the interrogative form. You're going to use affirmative form question. Okay? Perfect. And the other thing that the book is also going to show us is how to report orders, how to report commands, how to report the imperative form. Now pay attention to one more thing. Do you remember how to use the imperative in English? Do you remember how to order something in English? Now how to demand something in English? The imperative form in English is very simple. You actually have the verb without a subject. So the verb to come in imperative form is come. Come here. That's an order. The verb to study. If I want to order you to do so, I'm going to say study for the test. So verb in the base form with no subject, that's imperative. Okay? And how do I order someone not to do something? That's the case. I'm going to use the auxiliary, which is don't in the negative form, and then the verb. Don't arrive late. Don't miss your English classes. Don't forget to do your homework. Okay? So, affirmative, imperative, the verb in the base form. Come, do, dance, study. The negative, don't dance, don't study, don't do. This is the imperative, okay? Now we are going to report the imperative. So I tell you, study for the test. So you're going to report this. The teacher said, the teacher told, the teacher asked, what verb do I use? So when you are reporting an order, when you are reporting a verb in the imperative, you are going to choose from 3. You are going to say the teacher asked, the teacher told, or the teacher ordered. Okay? Remember that when you use told, when you use ask, and when you use order, you're going to tell, you have to have the object. She told me, she asked me, she told us, she asked us, she ordered you, she asked you, okay? So you have to say the object of that sentence. Who is she telling to, okay? But anyway, you're going to choose from these 3 verbs, ask, tell, or order. And let's check the examples you have in your book. What do you make out of the imperative? You are going to change the imperative into an infinitive. So for example, the example in your book, it says, Dad said to us, come back home before midnight. Cinderella complex, right? Come back home before midnight. You're going to change that into a reported speech. You're going to say, Dad asked us, Dad told us, Dad ordered us to come back home before midnight. So come becomes to come, imperative form in the reported speech. Okay? So you could have this 3 sentence. Dad asked us to come home before midnight. Dad told us to come home before midnight, or Dad ordered us to come home before midnight. And when you have a negative order, a negative imperative, like don't arrive late again, don't arrive late again, the only difference is that I'm going to add not, the negative, before the infinitive. So I'm going to say, Dad asked us not to arrive late again. So you have not and the infinitive. As simple as that. It's easy, right? I think the imperative form is quite easy to understand. You don't really deal with many pronouns in the imperative form, so it's easier. Okay? Is that clear? With that in mind, I have 2 things to point out. 1, you have a homework. It's exercises 1 and 2 from page 57 to exercise what we're seeing here, right? Actually, page 56 and 57. So that is your homework. You're going to practice the direct and indirect speech for questions and orders. Okay? If you have any questions, you can ask me now. But you're going to do your homework and we're going to correct it next class. But now I want to try something bold, something audacious. I think we can play a Kahoot exercise here, the way we are. We are going to try it, okay? Have you guys ever played Kahoot? I'm sure you did, right? So you're going to put on your Google to look for Kahoot, and you're going to join the website. I'm going to give you the code for you to join the class. Let's try it. If it doesn't work, we're just going to do the exercise either way, but I think we can play the game and make it more interesting. So Enrique is going to help me out, and you guys can point out if you have any questions as we are trying to play the game, okay? So let's see if we can do this. Enrique is going to show the page, o site, okay? Enrique is going to show the page here. I'm going to press play on the game. Yes, perfect. I think it's going to be fun. So, classic. Okay. Can you see the code? You already have the code for the classroom. It's 5950283. I hope it works, because it's so much more fun when we can interact. And then you guys can ask questions as we exercise the direct and indirect speech. I am waiting for my players. Yes, 5950283. I'm waiting for my players. I hope it works. I'm excited. Yes. I have America is in, Gabi Pinheiro is in. Ooh, it's working. Who else? Come on, guys, join us. Let me see. Let me see. Guys, just a second, okay? Pin. I'm in. Yes, I'm in. Okay. I'm in. Oh, I have Gloria, I have America, I have Manu, Vinicius, Ives, Gabi Pinheiro, Esther, Gloria, Fernando. I'm excited. It's going to work. Woohoo. Okay. I'm going to give you an extra minute. If any of you can't make it, that's okay. You can just see the exercise and we're going to correct it, okay? It's just because it's fun when you guys can play. I have Pedro Ellison. I already have 11 players in. Tassi, tem quantos alunos aí? Tem quantos alunos aí, Tassi? Tem quantos alunos na sala? Jogadores. Okay. So I have 11 players. Guys, can I start? Do you want some extra seconds to join? If you can't join, that's okay. You are still going to get to see the exercise and to get to see the correction. Okay? Can I start the game? Tá, se alguém diz para esperar os... É? Então... Ok. Foi? If it doesn't work, guys, that's okay. We can do this other way. We're just trying to make it more exciting. I hope it works. I have 11 players in. I have Lorena, Johnny, Manu, Fernando, Pedro Ellison, Esther, Gloria, Gabi, Thaís, Vinicius, and Ives. These ones I have here. Okay. A nossa é? Da escola? É. O que eu queria dizer assim, o que eu estou dizendo aqui para eles é que a atividade a gente faz de qualquer jeito, jogando ou não jogando. A interação é só para tornar mais interessante. Mas quem não conseguir entrar também não tem problema. Acompanha só o exercício. Posso ir? Ok. Can I start? Yes? I'm going to start. Okay, guys? Let's start. Let's start. So it's reported speech. Come on. My parents are fine, Anna said. What's the correct form of the reported speech for this sentence? Okay. I just don't know because of the delay. Maybe. You know what? Because of the delay, I might have to increase the time they have available. Guys, I'm going to press again, okay? Because it was too fast for you guys. I'll try again. I don't think it's going to work. I needed to have set for more time for you guys because there is a delay. And when you guys join, we're going to have to start again, guys. We have a new number. So sorry. Tati, acho que não vai dar certo hoje, porque o tempo da pergunta é curto e como tem o atraso, aí eles entram depois. Pois é o tempo da pergunta que está curto. Eu vou ter que calibrar isso aqui. Eu vou explicar. Gente, é assim, ó. Eu tenho que botar mais tempo para as perguntas, para dar tempo de vocês lerem, apesar do delay que a gente tem para chegar aí. Tá? Então a gente não vai fazer hoje, mas a gente já viu que funciona. E aí na outra aula eu coloco um tempo maior para as perguntas, dá tempo de vocês lerem e responderem, ok? So next class we'll do it this way. We're going to go back to the PowerPoint presentation. Thank you so much for trying. And next class we're going to do it. I just have to set it for a longer period of time, okay? But it's going to work. The good side of it is that we've seen it can work. Sorry. Anyway, let's move on then. Because exercises, sorry, but we'll try again, I promise. But because exercises 1 and 2 is homework, we are now going to work on page 58, okay? And we're going to work on exercise 3 of our book, which is to use the indirect speech for the sentences. So let me know if you guys are ready, if you are with your books on page 58. Exercise 3. I'm going to give you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences to put in indirect speech on exercise 3. I'm going to give you 6 minutes to do so. Okay? So do the exercise 3 and then we're going to correct it. Page 58, exercise 3. You can see it on the board, on the screen, your computer, but it's the exercise in your books, okay? Page 58, exercise 3. Okay, you guys, we're going to correct it, okay? If you haven't finished, it's okay. We will finish it together, so don't worry. We're going to do the rest of it together. And as for the game, Gabi, I promise you, next Friday we'll play it, and I'll be ready with the amount of time we need to cover for the delay, okay? Promise. But anyway, the first sentence says, the wife said to her husband, don't cheat on me. That's the sentence. Don't cheat on me. So it's in order, in the negative form, right? So we're going to say, the wife ordered her husband not to cheat on her. Not to cheat on her. Okay? So the sentence would be, the wife ordered her husband not to cheat on her. Why her? Because it's the wife. So me becomes her. This is an E, right? Please don't make any compliments on my beautiful handwriting. I know it isn't beautiful. I hope you guys can understand. But I have a slide with the answers too. B. The police officers said to the man, let the women leave the dangerous area first. So, the police officers asked the man to, it's an imperative, but it's affirmative, right? To let the women leave the dangerous area first. Okay? So nothing else changes. To let the women leave the dangerous area first. Perfect. The mother said to her daughter, brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. So, it's an imperative in the affirmative form. Brush your teeth. You're going to have, the mother told her daughter to brush. It's daughter, right? So it's a girl. So brush her teeth. Next, The girl said to her puppy, jump. It's in affirmative order, jump. So the girl ordered her puppy to jump. To jump. Next, my boss said to me, don't use the company phone for private calls. Don't use the company phone for private calls. My boss told me not to use the company phone for private calls. Henrique, does it show? Yeah? Okay, perfect. Not to use the company phone for private calls. And the final one, the chef said to the cook, sprinkle less oregano on the pizza. Sprinkle, do you guys understand sprinkle? When you throw pieces of something freely, sprinkle. Okay? So sprinkle less oregano on the pizza. The chef asked the cook, affirmative order, to sprinkle the oregano on the pizza. Okay? This is the end of exercise 3. You guys have to do as homework exercises 1 and 2 from pages 56 and 57, okay? We're going to correct it next Friday. And one more thing. Throughout the week, I would really like to be in touch with you guys, because if we keep in touch, I can address your specific questions next class. So, if there's something you didn't understand, if there's something you need more explaining on, and I'm aware of that, next class, as I am preparing your lesson, I can take this into account. So I'm going to leave my email for you guys, because you can type in with the answers to the homework, questions, or something that you want to see explained next class, okay? Because we're going to make this resemble as much as possible the scenario we have in our classrooms. So we need to be in touch. I'm going to write my email here, okay? I don't know if it shows. I'm going to write it here. Henrique, aparece aqui? This is my email. Dot Moraes at colégioantares.com .br. Can you understand? alhandra.moraes@colégioantares.com.br. You can write me with your questions, with something you didn't understand, with your homework for me to correct. I promise I'll be in touch with you guys back and forth, and this way we can get to know more about the doubts and the topics you need more reinforcement, and I can address that. The other thing is that I'm going to try to bring this kind of interaction like Kahoot, like Mentimeter, or anything else that we can be in touch throughout the class. I really appreciate you guys typing in questions in the chat and typing in your answers, because we teachers also miss the interaction with you guys. The more interaction we have, the better our classes will be. Okay? I hope you guys have enjoyed the lesson. I definitely enjoyed being with you guys. This is it for today. Have an excellent weekend, TGIF, and I'll see you again next Friday. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye, guys.